Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It is 7 o'clock and welcome to the Covington City Council meeting for Tuesday, February 8th. This council meeting is being held telephonically and virtually in compliance with state executive and legislative actions responding to the COVID-19 emergency. With that, I'll call this meeting to order. And Krista, if you could please call the roll.
Yes, Councilmember Kokel.
Here.
Councilmember Soltis.
Here.
Councilmember Hartjehausen.
Present.
Councilmember Simomo.
Here.
Councilmember Porter.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Smith.
Here.
Mayor Wagner.
I am here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you, Krista. If everybody could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for that. Next is approval of the agenda. Regan, do we have any changes tonight?
No, sir.
Thank you. I would look for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Christina and seconded by Joe to approve the agenda. Call for roll call vote. Jared, how do you vote?
Aye.
Sean, how do you vote?
Aye.
Christina, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jennifer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Joe, how do you vote?
Aye.
Beth, how do you vote?
Aye.
I also vote aye. It is unanimous to approve the agenda as posted. We do not have any public communication tonight, so we'll move into our first of two public comment periods. Speakers will state their name, address, and organization. Comments are directed to the City Council, not the audience or staff, and comments are not intended for conversation or debate and are limited to no more than 4 minutes per speaker. Notice to all participants pursuant to state law, RCW 42.17a.555, campaigning for any ballot measure or candidate in City Hall and or during any portion of the council meeting, including the audience comment portion of the meeting, is prohibited. Looking into our audience, our attendees, if there's anybody in the audience wishing to address council, please raise your hand. This is the time to address anything that is on the agenda or anything else. If you're interested in addressing council, please raise your hand. Seeing nobody raise their hand, there will be a second opportunity towards the end of our council meeting. Next up is approval of the consent agenda. We have items C1 through C6. Is there approval to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Beth and seconded by Jennifer to approve the consent agenda consisting of items C1 through C6. Call for a roll call vote. Jared, how do you vote?
Aye.
Sean, how do you vote?
Aye.
Christina, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jennifer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Joe, how do you vote?
Aye.
Beth, how do you vote?
Aye.
I also vote aye. It is unanimous to approve the consent agenda. Thank you all very much. Next up is new business item number 1, to consider appointment to the Youth Council Adult Leader position. Does council wish to take action tonight?
I move to appoint Shelly Dimmitt to a 2-year term as an adult leader on the Youth Covington Council, expiring February 28th, 2024.
Second.
Beth, thank you, Joe. It's been moved and seconded to appoint Dr. Shelly Dimmitt to a 2-year term as an adult leader on the Covington Youth Council, expiring February 28th, 2024. Beth, would you like to speak to your motion?
Sure, just to keep it short and sweet. Obviously, Shelly's been doing this for a while and doing a fabulous job leading and knowing when to lead and knowing when to step back to help foster leadership in our youth. I believe, as she said, to get them give back to youth so that they can in turn grow to be residents and citizens that give back to their community as well.
Thank you, Beth. Joe, would you like to speak to your second?
Yeah, I think Shelly has done a wonderful job with these kids. She's building relationships with them that is lasting past their time on the youth council, but that she's teaching them to be the next generation of adults who are going to be able to make decisions and help their communities or help whatever group they're working with. And she's been doing that for a while. She has a passion for it. And as she was talking, it was just about, teaching them how to think big, but narrow it down. You can think of all these wonderful ideas, but you got to start somewhere small to get to those bigger ideas. And I think that's the way she's working with those kids. And that's something that they're working with. And I fully support putting her back on as a youth leader.
Thank you, Joe. Is there anybody else wishing to speak for or against the motion? I just want to add that when I saw this position open up and seeing Shelly reapply for it, I was very excited. I have always enjoyed watching Shelly, no matter on which commission she's been involved in. She puts her whole heart and energy into it and doesn't hold back. So it's great seeing her energy helping all of our youth council. So it's been moved and seconded to appoint Dr. Shelly Dimmitt to a 2-year term as an adult leader on the Covington Youth Council, expiring February 28th, 2024. I will call for a roll call vote. Jared, how do you vote?
Aye.
Sean, how do you vote?
Aye.
Christina, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jennifer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Joe, how do you vote?
Aye.
Beth, how do you vote?
Aye.
I also vote aye. It is unanimous to appoint Dr. Shelly Dimmitt to a 2-year term as an adult leader on the Covington Youth Council. Thank you all very much. Next up is new business item number 2. Consider an ordinance to repeal and replace Covington Municipal Code 2.20.050 to establish new policies and procedures for inter-fund loans. I will turn this over to Casey. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Exciting stuff here. So as part of the 2020 audit that was performed and completed last year by the Washington State Auditor's Office, staff was informed that the auditors recommended we make an update to our interfund loan code to match the acceptable and recommended procedures included in the BARS manual, the Washington State Budgeting, Accounting, and Reporting System Manual. And as such, this is just an amendment bringing that forth so that we comply with those standards. Some of the changes that you'll see is all interfund loans will come to council. In the past, we've always brought them for you, but that wasn't actually in our code. So those will be coming all towards you for approval. You'll also be reviewing the loan status annually, and I'll probably do that maybe during my quarterly reports with you. So we'll review those. And the term of the loan can continue over a period of more than 1 year, but no more than 3 years unless otherwise approved by council. So those are just some of the changes. And this is really just kind of cleaning it up and getting it to match what's at the state level. So that's it. If there's any questions.
Does council have any questions for Casey? I don't see anybody raising their hand, Casey. So council, before us is an option to pass an ordinance in substantial form as presented to repeal and replace Covington Municipal Code 2.20.050 to establish new policies and procedures for interfund loans. Does council wish to take action tonight?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Jennifer and seconded by Sean. Jennifer, would you like to speak to your motion?
Sure. Thank you, Casey, for bringing this to council this evening. And I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, something we should do to, based on the auditor's recommendations, so that we're consistent with the state.
Thanks, Jennifer. Sean, would you like to speak to your second?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else wishing to speak for or against the motion? All right, it's been moved and seconded to pass an ordinance in substantial form as presented to repeal and replace Covington Municipal Code 2.20.050 to establish new policies and procedures for interfund loans. Call for a roll call vote. Jared, how do you vote?
Aye.
Sean, how do you vote?
Aye.
Christina, how do you vote? Jennifer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Joe, how do you vote?
Aye.
Beth, how do you vote?
Aye.
I also vote aye. It is unanimous to pass an ordinance in substantial form as presented to repeal and replace Covington Municipal Code 2.20.050. Thank you. Next is new business item number 3. Consider a resolution to approve an interfund loan up to $2,500,000 from the general fund to Capital Investment Program CIP fund for various phases of the Covington Connector Project, which is CIP 1201, and the SR 516 Jenkins Creek to 185th Avenue Southeast Project, which is CIP 1127. And I will turn this over to Bob Linskoff, I believe. We turn it over to Bob or Don?
Bob's being moved over.
Okay.
I will
Mhm.
mention before Bob gets started that this is just a renewal of a current interfund loan that's in place. It was just done with all of the new code amendments that we just adopted, so. But I'll let Bob talk about the project.
Oh, you already did the hard part, Casey. Thank you, Mayor and Council. We're renewing the interphone loan that we had last year. Basically, we have a lag sometimes of 1 to 3 months between what we must pay the contractors and getting our reimbursements from the state. And this kind of smooths out those curves and reduces a little bit of our stress here in Public Works. But everything expended is budgeted for, and we will either get that back through reimbursements or it will come from the appropriate funds. So at this time, are there any questions?
Does council have any questions for Bob? I don't see anybody raising their hand, Bob. Thank you very much. And
Awesome.
Casey, thank you for the introduction. So before us tonight is an option to pass a resolution in substantial form. Is that attached here too? Approving an interfund loan of up to $2,500,000 for the various phases of the Covington Connector Project, CIP 1201, and construction of the SR 516 Jenkins Creek to 185th Avenue Southeast Project, CIP 1127. Does council wish to take action tonight?
So moved.
Moved by Joe and seconded by Christina to pass this resolution. Joe, would you like to speak to your motion?
Let's get the shovels out. Come on. I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's get these roads built. I'm very much ready for that. I'm very excited to get these projects even more done.
Thank you, Joe. Christina, would you like to speak to your second?
Almost took the words out of my mouth. I'm just excited, beyond excited to see this getting not only started, but finished. Please, thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Is there anybody else wishing to speak for or against the motion? All right, seeing nobody raise their hand, it's been moved and seconded to pass the resolution in substantial form. Is that attached here too? Approving an interfund loan up to $2,500,000 for the various phases of the Covington Connector Project, CIP 1201, and construction of the SR 516 Jenkins Creek to 185th Avenue Southeast Project, which is CIP 1127. I'll call for a roll call vote. Jared, how do you vote?
Aye.
Sean, how do you vote?
Aye.
Christina, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jennifer, how do you vote?
Aye.
Joe, how do you vote?
Aye.
Beth, how do you vote?
Aye.
I also vote aye. It is unanimous to pass this resolution. Thank you all very much. Wow, we're on to business item number 4. Did I miss something? Or are we just going that? Well, you guys are efficient tonight.
No, you didn't miss anything.
Okay, so new business item number 4 is to discuss the Republic Services disruption of service update. And since I work for Republic, I am going to recuse myself. And Mayor Pro Tem Smith, I am turning it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we'll just wait
Just
till
let me
Yep.
know when it's time to come back.
we will do that. All right. So as Mayor Wagner said, this is agenda item number 4, discuss for public services disruption in service. And it's a continuation of our previous discussion we had. So I'm going to turn it over to Regan. It's going to give us an update on discussions with Republic Services.
Thanks, Mayor Pro Tem Smith. So Don manages that contract, so I'm going to turn the time over to him and let him address it with the council.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Smith and council. So last week, Regan, Shelly, and I met with Republic Services. We addressed the 3 points that council discussed at the last council meeting. They consisted of business continuity plan, improved customer service, and credits to the customers. Regarding the business continuity plan, Republic Services mentioned that they have a strike contingency plan if any of their 3 local unions strike, but not for what they call wildcat strikes in other states. They indicated that they haven't had any local strikes, at least not in the last 10 years, but they've had 3 wildcat strikes in the last 10 years, and that has had some impact. We requested that their plan include these wildcat strikes as they have had impact on service in Covington. Republic Services indicated that they would send over the updated contingency plan, and I believe council received that yesterday. Regarding improved customer service, we discussed the concern that it was difficult to get clear and timely information, and that Republic did not seem to have a good social media campaign or presence. In addition, we indicated that we were getting citizens contacting us because Republic Services customer service was telling customers to call the city. Republic did admit that their social media is more on a national level and not something used to address local issues. They did mention that they have a My Resource app that they encourage customers to use to get specific information about their service. They also mentioned that they have already made changes to their software that their customer service employees use to respond to customers that call in. This software is called what they call their knowledge management tool. Now includes, with some other changes, includes in large bold text, do not tell customers to call the city. So staff asked about customer service calls and where do those calls get routed to in terms of location. Republic indicated that they have local, basically regional, in this area, customer service employees, mostly working remotely, that are familiar with our contract that take the majority of calls. They indicated that during very high call volumes, callers can get routed to their Phoenix call center. They believe that the updated knowledge management tool software will help with reducing confusing information, even if routed to Phoenix. Staff also requested that during events, we get regular timely information that we can add to our social media as citizens are looking for information. We can also include at the end of these messages a statement such as, for more specific information regarding your service, please utilize Republic Services My Resource app, along with like a link or something to that app. The final item we discussed was credits to customers. They indicated that they are.
Don, can I just interject something real quick about the My Resource app?
Yeah.
It appears like that could be a really great, useful tool. They can send push notifications to it, so you'll be updated in real time as they're pushing out notifications if you have that app. Just wanted to add.
And then the final item we discussed was credits to customers. They indicated that they are working with headquarters on this issue, but don't have an answer. They didn't have an answer at that time. When asked if they are giving credits to other cities, they said only for cities that specifically had credits addressed in their contract. The only one that we knew of was Sammamish, being that city that has that in their contract. I did hear separately that Bellevue might, but I don't know that for sure. Staff indicated that the city has worked with the Republic Services in the past to address things that were not specifically in the contract, namely a recycling processing charge that benefited Republic. Although not specifically named in the contract, credits seem to be the best course of action to address this issue. They indicated that they will share that information with headquarters in making that decision. And I do want to add that I did hear back from Republic Services today, and they are evaluating some actual real numbers in terms of credits. It's still being evaluated, but they are going to update me later this week. So that's kind of the update, and happy to answer any questions.
Thank
Can
you,
I just
Don.
add something, Sean?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Regan.
On the, we don't know what those credits will be if Republic chooses to give them, but I suspect they'll be pretty low. So you may have a little bit of a reverse sticker shock, right? If 1 week of service was missed and you pay, $20 a month, then it's a $5 credit, right? Or whatever that number is going to be. But I just wanted to put that out there that, people aren't going to be getting these large credits for whatever, just on actual missed service.
Okay.
And that would be also on those ones, majority being the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday customers that had that during that strike event. And that's would be the ones that this would be considered for.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Dawn? Don't see any raised hands. So Regan or Dawn, remind me, what is the latest that we can extend this contract?
So what we at least have to do is, I think it's 60 days before the end of the contract, which is June 30th. So I believe that's in March. We'll need to give that notice for the extension or what we're going to do in that regards. So
end of March.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I think we plan to come back again at the next council meeting with any additional information that we get during that time.
Yeah, let's go to Mark and then I'll go to Jennifer. Go ahead, Mark.
Just really quick, Don, you're totally correct about the date is the end of March, but it is 90 days. So just to make sure that doesn't throw anyone off before the June 30th deadline or before the June 30th date, it's 90 days before that.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
So it's still March, but it's 90 days out. Okay. Jennifer.
I was curious if we could get a copy of the inclement weather contingency plan. That would be helpful. The plan that we were sent for the strike does make reference to it, and I don't think that we've received that as council.
That I think it references the actual, the contract. So it has that language in it that it references.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, so it would be in there. We can definitely provide that.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
And I think as it was explained to us, correct me if I'm wrong, Don, it is actually the exact same plan, just with strike contingency or weather contingency built into it. Is that right, Don?
Yeah, it basically makes references to, in general, their what the contract already has kind of language in it about what happens in inclement weather and that type of thing.
Yeah, it kind of makes it sound like short notice disruption is they said they would follow the protocol of inclement weather. So it would be nice to see what that looks like compared to a not short notice disruption.
Yep, we can do that.
And then also, I think it is a good idea to put something on our website about the My Resource app and kind of the information we've learned about their customer service plans going forward. Just something to put up, in case of service disruption in the future. Here's Republic Services online app where you can get more information about the current situation, that sort of thing. So,
and maybe an idea to put that on our social media. Probably get more of a reach than on the website.
Perfect. I think Jennifer or Elizabeth was next, and then Christina.
So just for clarification, then when they're talking about a strike, they're talking about any type of strike, whether it's what they were talking about, one that was either local or there was another name for it.
Wildcat.
Wildcat, thank you. Yes. So any strike whatsoever, if it's going to impact service, are now going to be lumped together because it doesn't call it out specifically there, and it sounds like it wasn't part of a prior.
Yeah, and we just got that as well. And so those are some of my things that I wanted to clarify as I talked with Republic Services as well, because that was my point as well, is that, okay, is there, assuming that any disruption, whether it's Wildcat or otherwise that has impacts, I would look at those as the same, and that was the intent, but that would be what I would want to clarify. So I think that's a great point.
Great, thanks.
Christina.
Yes, thank you. I'm a little bit confused about the consistency and the disruption. I'd like to see consistency from Republic, because when the inclement weather possibility was just gone and the garbage was picked up, recycling was not. So there was inconsistency in whatever was going on. I would like to see clarification or reasoning for that. I know this was at least in our neighborhood. I'm sure it was beyond that, but just consistency. I understand inclement weather. I understand a strike, but commit. So just curious. I don't know if anybody else experienced that, but if not, maybe it was just our neighborhood, but that would be interesting to get a little information on. Thank you.
Any other questions? I don't see any other hands. So as I understand it for tonight, we don't have to make a decision tonight, and I would actually suggest that we don't and wait until we hear back regarding the credits, and then at our next meeting, bring this issue back up put it back on the agenda. How does that sound, Regan? Dawn?
Yeah, if that's council agreement, then that's what we'll do.
Do we have consensus on that? Okay. Yep. Looks like we do.
Okay, you got it.
All right. Thanks.
We'll keep following up with Republic and then hopefully have a better update.
Great.
By then. And I'll go ahead and text the mayor right now.
Oh, Elizabeth. Well, hold on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go,
no,
Beth.
just really quickly. I'm sorry. We were talking about, like, now that's only about 7 weeks out, and we're also going to decide if there's another option. I know that that was part of the potential discussion to figure out if there was another service provider that would impact our decision to make.
As I understood it, this is what correct me if I'm wrong, but what I remember, we could talk about not extending, and that would initiate a 60-day notice. We could extend for 2 years, or we could do some extension somewhere between there, either whatever it is, 60 days to 2 years, and probably something within a year or around that would be an extension, just to kind of say, yeah, we're thinking about opening up the contract and looking at other providers. Did I get that right, Regan?
Yeah, that's correct. And I will just let council know, and Don's mentioned this before, but we did hear from someone we've used in the past that helps a lot of cities in the entire area negotiate these hauler contracts with not just Republic, but with all of the service providers. And he felt like 18 months is even a tight window to get one of these done. So he said preference is 2 years.
Okay.
Is that right, Don?
Yeah, in fact, he just commented on that, I think even today, when we were asking for some information. He volunteered that information.
All right. Any other?
Just to clarify, I know that I'm the one that spoke this into existence first. As you said, 60 days. Again, it's 90 days.
90 days. Sorry.
Just to clarify, I obviously started that, so I apologize. But just for the record, I wanted to clarify that.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, Regan, I think we're done. So can bring back the mayor.
I just texted him.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Any big decisions you want to make before the boss?
Yeah,
comes
exactly.
Every second council meeting will be ice cream council.
Yeah.
back? and Jeff has to bring.
And
Yeah.
it used to be that when we were in person, it seemed like every other council meeting we had cake or something.
know.
So
Oh, you guys. If we go back to in person,
Yep.
I will volunteer
Hmm.
to bring you the ice cream.
nice.
My first term, my first year, I think we had cake and we had some sort of social the first
Yep.
6 months, every meeting.
We're
All in
recording.
favor?
aren't we?
Aye.
Did we lose Jeff? Is he having trouble again?
I haven't heard back from him.
He's being moved over.
Okay.
Okay.
Waiting for us to commit to ice cream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Some reason the links I have do not like my computer. So I apologize for being late getting back on. All right. Well, that concludes all of our new business. Thank you all very much. Next up is our future agenda items. Our next meeting is February 22nd. We have a 6 p.m. joint study session with the Planning Commission, and then our regular meeting. Does council have anything they'd like to see on a future agenda? Don't see anything at this time. So let's move into council staff comments. And we will start with our acting police chief, Adam Easterbrook. Welcome.
Hello, I think I got everything off, so I think I'm talking. Good. All right. I'm not such great with the technology on this. We're trying to keep Covington as staffed as we can. King County obviously has a major staffing problem on their hands. So right now we're down one patrol body. We've made a selection to fill that vacancy so that our patrol staffing is full. And from there, we will try to do everything staffing wise as a 1-for-1 trade. So if I give up a body, I get a body at the same time. So that's kind of an update on how we're doing with staffing. And other than that, I'm still trying to figure out how to work this job. So a lot of learning going on. So it's good for me.
Well, we appreciate you taking it on and keep up the good work. Oh, Regan?
I just wanted to add on to what Adam mentioned. This is a real policy shift in the sheriff's office that, as Adam said, we lose a body, we get a body, right? It's always been the last couple of years, you got to hold vacancies, and the number of vacancies we're supposed to hold kept increasing. But there's a little more of a shift now because the county has caused some of these vacancies, that the county spots need to hold those vacancies, not necessarily the contract cities. So hopefully that happens and we can staff back up if they can hire more officers.
Yeah, they're way behind on that too. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a mess.
Well, thank you very much, Adam, and please pass on to all of your team that we appreciate everything you're going through, and well, we appreciate everything you're doing and understand everything you're going through. So keep up the good work.
Thank you. You guys have been great thus far. I've worked in other contracts in the sheriff's office, and this has by far been the most welcoming and pleasant to be around. So thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Ethan. Is Ethan with us tonight? I don't see.
He's not.
Okay, thank you. Don.
Nothing tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Don. Selena.
Good evening, council members. I have nothing for you tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Selena. Casey.
I was just going to mention that we just received our final year-end real estate excise tax numbers, and we brought in about $1.8 million of revenue last year, which was way over budget. That was fantastic. We used that for our long-term debt service payments, which are about 1.2 million. So we've got an extra $600,000 in the bank rolling forward to this year. And just going back as far as I can see to 2006, this is the highest amount of home sales that we've had So 572 home sales, as compared to last year, we had 476. So almost 100 difference there. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. Thank you.
Are those, Casey, both new and resales? And what's the
Those
breakdown of
are
those?
a little bit of both. So there are 448 existing home sales and 124 new home sales.
Right. Thank you, Casey.
Thanks.
Regan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I wanted to follow up with council on an item we discussed at the summit. Beth brought up about the 1590 funds when we were talking about those. And she has a great memory because she's like, didn't we authorize 50% of those to go to SCIP? And so anyway, we went back to the October 2020 budget workshop. And at that workshop, there was quite a bit of discussion on this. As you recall, with House Bill 1590, there can be up to 40% that's used towards mental health and whatnot, and then other 60% of those funds received can be used for construction, or all of it can be used for construction. At that, the discussion by council went to 50% of the SCIP funds to be given to, or sorry, of 1590 funds to be given to SCIP for construction of affordable housing. However, and then to keep 10% in Covington for any other potential projects that may come our way. However, there was a bit of discussion on varied end dates of when we would stop those funds, but the council didn't settle on anything at that time. So we have not tendered any of those funds to SCIP, but at this point, it would be just a continuous allocation each year of 50% of the funds we receive to SCIP. And so I wanted to just ask for a little bit of clarification. If this is a quick thing, we can ask if council wanted that as a one-time, or if you don't want to do that anymore, we don't have to, or if you meant it to be continuous, or we could put this on a future agenda item as well.
Yeah.
To discuss further.
Yeah, I think it might behoove to put it on a future agenda item, just to discuss what that term might be, because at the summit there was some varying opinions on what we might want to see from SCIP. That's just my thought.
Anybody else? I'm fine putting it on a future agenda item as well to discuss it.
I was going to say, I agree with Beth. I don't think it should be continuous. I don't want to lose sight of it, but I think discussing it as a future agenda item would be great.
I agree.
Casey.
I was just mention that the allocation that would possibly go
breaking up, Casey.
again. Dang it. Can you hear me now?
No, you're all garbled.
You still there, Case?
But if you can't hear me, it's okay.
No.
Is it something that affects us putting this on a future agenda?
It's fine.
Okay. It looks like there's at least the majority then that wants us on a future agenda, so we'll go ahead and schedule that.
Okay. Thanks,
Thank you.
Regan.
Yep.
Anything else?
No, thank you.
Thanks, Regan. Mark.
Good evening, Mayor Wagner and council. I have nothing tonight, except that we do have an executive session pursuant to RCW 4230-110 sub 1 sub little g. And that's it.
Thanks, Mark. Krista.
I have emailed out the executive session meeting link. So if you have any issues with receiving that link, please let me know and I'll email it out to you. And that's all I have.
Thanks, Krista. Jared.
Other than, every council meeting, I learned something new every time, and I'm just thankful for city staff that can answer questions quickly and efficiently. And if you ever have any questions, anyone's ready to answer at any given moment. So I just appreciate that. That's all.
Thanks, Jared. Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to follow up and I think it's been a while since we met at the summit, and I really did appreciate everyone's efforts there, and we did a lot of really good work, and really encouraged by the plans and things that we set forth for the new year. I wanted to get a update on I guess where we are with the vision, mission, and goals, and just kind of hear what the next step is on that. And then two, and maybe Joe, you were going to ask about this, or you could talk about it, but what's the response been, or have we got one to the letter that we sent last week? So thanks.
Joe, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go?
I was going to talk about about it when I go as
Okay.
So if you want to say something, go for it, Regan.
Sure. Sean, you beat me to it. It was going to be my weekly update, but no, good question.
Well, you can hold off if you want.
Oh no, I'll tell you real quick. So Carla and I put together a new one pager with our vision, mission, and goals. We just finalized that today, so we'll get that out and share it with council. And then one of the next items is really starting to truly implement our vision, mission, and goals through the creation of a strategic plan. And that will be one of my 2022 potential merit goals that I submit to the council in, I believe, at our next meeting.
Thank you. Yeah, that's all I had. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Sean. Christina?
Yes, hi. It's been really nice seeing everyone consistently. I think every week now for maybe 4 weeks. Nothing new from me. Just really enjoying the sunshine that we're getting. Thank you.
Thanks, Christina. Jennifer?
Nothing for me tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Jennifer. Joe?
As Sean alluded to, the letter that we sent out last week, the next afternoon, it was in the hands of the King County Council and and Executive Constantine. Have I heard from them? No. But I did hear from the Covington Chamber. They were writing a letter in support of our letter to the King County Council and Executive Constantine, and they should have had it sent out by now. I haven't spoken with Dana about it. I did send it to a few others. I heard from Sammamish that they will be presenting it sharing it with their council. I just haven't heard from them. And then I know Beth sent it to some others, so she can share on those, but I'm waiting to hear back from others. If I don't hear anything by tomorrow, I'll just send follow-up emails and see how that went. That's all I've got.
Thanks, Joe. Beth?
Yeah, so to tack on, I was trying to make phone calls first to talk to folks and prep them about what we had done and the letter may be coming, and a lot of voicemails. So I did connect with one city council member who was planning on signing or forwarding it. I haven't heard back in response from any of the emails that were sent. I sent it to probably about 12 other local electeds in the region. So, which I'm not sure that I really expected a response from them, but if there is anything else, at least that's out there for people to chew on. And so that's the update I have on that. Gosh, the summit was great. Gosh, this last week and a half, it feels like it was just yesterday, and yet it feels like it was last year. There's been a lot, and I think that's probably going to be par for the course for the year for all of us. And so again, appreciating the passion, the energy, the commitment from my fellow council members, the commissioners, staff. 2022 is going to be a big deal for Covington in lots of different ways. So one team, one dream.
Thanks, Beth. I want to say thanks to you, Beth, and Joe for taking the initiative to get that letter off last week. And thank you to all of the council members who signed on to it. That is makes me proud to be associated with each of you for what you've done to stand up for what's right for our police team. So thank you for doing that. The summit was outstanding. Thank you to staff, Regan, you and the team for getting that all put together. And I thought it was very productive, and time just flew by. It was very good. And I think that is all I have for tonight. So we will move into our second public comment period. Speakers will state their name, address, and organization. Comments are directed to the city council, not the audience or staff. Comments are not intended for conversation or debate and are limited to no more than 4 minutes per speaker. Notice to all participants pursuant to state law RCW 42.17a.555, campaigning for any ballot measure or candidate in City Hall and or during any portion of the council meeting, including the audience comment portion of the meeting, is prohibited. Is there anybody in the audience wishing to address council this evening? Please raise your hand. Anybody in the audience wishing to address council? Seeing nobody raise their hand, I'll close public comment. And with that, we are going to go into executive session to review the performance of a public employee pursuant to RCW 42.30.110 sub 1 sub little g for approximately no longer than 30 minutes. So by 8:15 at the most, after which, when we do come out of the executive session, if it takes even 30 minutes, there will be no further business taken. So with that, people can stay in the council meeting, but council members, please join me in the executive. Thank you very much. We have concluded our executive session and come back to this meeting. No further action is being taken. This meeting is adjourned at 8:05.